Hello everybody! Hi Hans and welcome back to my channel. Today is another Halloween look and today we'll be doing half and half split face. Don't really know what you want to call it, but it's 2 in 1. Anyway, I'm not going to do your head in too much because this is already going to be quite a long video. Well, not long, but it's longer than I thought because it is a Halloween look and it's slightly more creative than the first one I did this year, which was the vampire look. That one up there that you can watch if you haven't watched it. So let's get moving on. I hope you'll enjoy this video and all I want you to do is sit back, sit tight and enjoy the Halloween ride. Okay, so first things first, we clean the face thoroughly and make sure that all the rubbish is off it, so we have a good working base to start with. We let it dry and we get going. Okay, so just a little tip, if you ever do a split face makeup look, I highly recommend getting your division lines sorted before you start doing anything. You obviously have to map out where you're going to do what and what face you're going to do on what side. So here I've taken a square brush, but you can use any thin brush really. And as you can obviously see, I'm outlining and splitting my face up into 2. Once I've outlined that, I took my MAC Painterly paint pot and set my eyelids. For this look, I wanted to start with the angel side as it is the easier side and the quicker side in comparison to what is yet to come. I used my fluffy blending brush and applied my transition shade onto my crease. The shade I used for this is a very, very light nude shade, one that you can hardly see, and this is just so that I'm set for the rest of the eyes. I then took my Dull Beauty flat concealer brush and applied concealer on my eyelid in the same way that you would cut your crease, but you don't have to do it perfectly because it is just so that the shimmering eyeshadow will pop out. This look is not heavy, but we want it to be looking very angelic obviously. Once I've done that and smoothed out the harsh line of the concealer, for the shimmer I actually used my Dull Beauty highlighter as an eyeshadow. Yes, I did. I love the shade so much. It is like a soft champagne gold but with a silver undertone to it kind of, and I applied that on my whole eyelid. For the angel side, I wanted to keep the look very white, very fresh, clean and very pure, so I used the Jeffree Star Cosmetics white liquid lipstick to draw my winged liner. I first put it on the back of my hand as I find that this way the brush really drowns in it, because white is not a very strong colour to use on your face and you do have to go over it a few times. It's important to get as much as possible on the brush every single time. I started with my lash line and then drew out the wing. And because I didn't want to look completely washed out, I took my black liquid liner, which is actually a pen, and I just lined my actual lash line so that it makes it pop a bit more. With the same liquid lipstick, I did my brows in the same exact way as usual, but only this time I'm using a white product and not my normal eyebrow stuff. Here I actually tried to put some glitter on the brows, but to be honest, you can hardly see it. You can even see that, so maybe skip this bit. And then I do my usual, I use concealer to clean up the brows and make it look neat and tidy. Right then honeys, once you've got your lashes on, you're good to go and start the base. I'm using the Clarins Skin Illusion foundation in the shade Honey, which I'm pretty sure I've used in a few of my other videos. It's also number 110 if you're wondering. The reason why I love this foundation is because it's not too thick and not too full coverage, but if you want it to have an extra layer of coverage, then just add an extra layer of foundation. Oh, and also all of Clarins foundation smells amazing, like not of vanilla or like a type of food, but it just smells like really fragrancy and like really nice. You know what, I do sometimes feel like this big Morphe brush makes my foundation a bit streaky, so sometimes I do have to go with my beauty blender just to smooth out any lines. I honestly use this concealer all the time. Trust me, I have so many concealers from all different price range, like Charlotte Tilbury, MAC, NARS, but this one has such a lovely formula and actually makes my skin look so smooth rather than flaky, which a lot of concealers can do. It is only about £6 from Boots and I highly recommend. This Sugar Pill white eyeshadow that you just saw was actually an accidental purchase, but here I'm using it and absolutely loving it. I put it on the inner corner of my eye and dragged it up towards my eyebrow, and this is because I want it to define that area with white so it looks bright. And with my white eyeliner from Morphe, which is so pigmented, I line my bottom waterline. And again, to avoid my eyes looking too wishy-washy, I take a tiny amount of grey eyeshadow and put it lightly on my bottom lash line. I then contour my left side of my face because we're not yet starting on the right, obviously, and I'm doing that with my bronzer. I get my cheekbones, my jawline and my forehead as normal. And then we move on to the blush. Who remembers those days where blusher wasn't a thing anymore? Because I certainly do, and I can't believe I ever forgot about blusher. This makes it look more pure and childlike, and especially for this look, it's perfection. What I'm using here on my cheekbones to highlight them a bit more is the Revolution liquid highlighter in the shade Silver. And I'm just going to tell you a little secret. I actually sometimes use it as a primer on top of the primer just to bring it out a bit more. I then went in with my Doll Beauty highlighter and highlighted on top of it. And now to the serious bit. Using the Snazaroo face paint in red, I'm painting the whole right side of my face in red. Make sure you go over it a few times because you don't want it to look wishy-washy, like I keep saying. You want it to be a strong, standout red. I am just about to move on to my ear because I don't honestly know what came over me, but I want my whole right side of my face to be red. Try and avoid your eyelid because we'll get to that in a second, where we will use an actual eyeshadow to do that. Moving on to the brows, obviously I'm not going to use a normal colour because this is not just a normal look. I'm actually using a black eyeshadow. I think I also used the black face paint to do my brows, but you just smother them in the same way that you normally do your brows, but here you're just using black rather than your normal shade. For today's brows, there's no ombre, there's no neatness, it literally needs to be pure black on the whole thing from the start to the end of it. You literally cannot do a creative look like this without using the Carnival palette from Be Perfect Cosmetics that they did with Stacey Marie. This is number 2 edition, and I used the colour red, which is called Inferno, honestly I don't know, but it's on the bottom left of the palette, and I used that to put it on my eyelid. I then took a black shade and put it on my crease just to make it more devilish. Once you're fully satisfied with that, go back in with your red face paint and fill in any gaps where you can still see your normal skin colour. So that we slightly mirror what's on the other side of our face, we go in with a black liquid eyeliner and wing our eyes. This time we obviously use black, like I just mentioned, and we create the wing in the same way that I always create the wing. You start with the lash line and you wing it out. Honestly, not sure what I'm doing here, dancing to some music. I'm basically getting well happy that this look is coming together as I'd hoped. Anyway, let's get back to it. I then line my waterline with a black eyeliner pencil and go really heavy with it. Take it down to your lash line, down to your under eye circle area if you wanted to, and then make sure that the top liquid eyeliner is smoothed out and blended. Okay, this bit is quite important because this is where you create the shadows to bring the look to life so it doesn't look flat. You just use a black eyeshadow and you blend it onto the red by the division of where you've divided your face into two, and then you do the same with contouring the places. So you contour the outline of it going in, making sure it's all very dark, very black, just because we don't want it to look flat and boring, because this is certainly not a boring look. I did decide at this stage to go down to my neck and my shoulders because I couldn't just have my face like that. So then I did the same thing with the white on the other side. Okay, so here I used a very fine brush to create these lines all the way down where we divided the two sides of the face, because I wanted it to feel like a crack, like I can't explain it, but hopefully you'll see at the end where the devil's sort of cracking to become an angel and bring the two sides to merge together rather than actually having two separate sides of the face being two different things. Make sure these lines go right down to the neck until the end of where you've painted your chest and shoulders red, and make sure you contour, in inverted commas, your chest and neck as well, because like I said before, and I want to really emphasize on it, you don't want it to look flat. With the same fine brush that I used to draw these lines, I'm taking the white face paint and I'm drawing it on the lines, sort of like to create the shadow, a white shadow, or the black will create the black shadow, so to give it more life and a more of a crack looking effect. We then move on to the lips. I did do the black side first because at the time it seemed like a good idea. I mean, nothing actually happened. It turned out really well. But normally for something like this, I would advise starting with the lighter shade and then the darker shade comes after, just because it avoids dragging and mixing together too much. And also, it's so much easier to take off the lighter shade than the black colour, because black just is so hard to take off and start again with. To fill in my lips, I actually used my Anastasia Beverly Hills lip palette. They've got a black colour in there, but if you've got black lipstick, then obviously use that. In the inside of my lips, to make it kind of ombre, I went in with my red lipstick and patted it on. I felt like my cheekbones weren't contoured enough, so I went in with the black eyeshadow and made it more contoured. I then took the silver liquid highlight from Revolution that I used on the other side with the angel and highlighted my cheekbone. I took white eyeshadow and put it on the inner corner of my eye just to give it that little oomph. So here I felt like something was missing. I added kind of like what looked like teeth and a jaw just to give it a bit more of an ugly look to it, because after all this side is not meant to be that good looking. This is it, guys. This is the final outcome of today's look in the video. Half devil, half angel. Which side are you? I have really enjoyed doing this look today. Although you won't be able to tell, this actually took me hours, but it's been edited for you guys to watch it at speed and to see that it's not hard, it just takes time. Thank you so much for sticking right to the very end. I can't wait to see you in my next Halloween look tutorial on my channel. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and definitely send me pictures if you've recreated this look. I can't wait for my next video, which will be number 3 of the Halloween series for 2020. And obviously I can't wait to see you all, every single one of you, there. Don't forget to hit subscribe down below and send this video to anyone who you might think might like it. Bye guys.